What's going on, Lions faithful? Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, your one-stop shop for all things Detroit football. If you live and breathe Honolulu blue and silver, you're in the right place. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell to stay locked in on every single rumor and insight we bring you from Ford Field. Today's hot topic? We've been hearing whispers that the Lions could be parting ways with veteran cornerback Amic Robertson. Yes, you heard that right. Could Detroit really cut ties with a player who's been penciled in as a reliable slot defender? Is it possible they're ready to push him out of the lineup altogether? Let's unpack what we know and what might be bubbling under the surface. First off, here's the setup. Amic Robertson, now 26 and in his 6th NFL season, is entering a contract year scheduled to cost the Lions $925 million in 2025. Last year, he battled through a broken arm in the playoffs, yet still posted a passer rating against of under 100 for the third straight season, demonstrating that, on paper, he's a very capable cover corner. But here's the twist. Detroit added Avonte Maddox this offseason from the Super Bowl champs. They have Terrion Arnold and DJ Reed manning the outside, and rookie Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is already standing out in camp. Could Robertson suddenly be the odd man out? The Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport even pegged him as unlikely to be part of Detroit's long-term plans, and Fansided's Samuel Bulin agreed, highlighting a near non-existent path to snaps on the outside for Amic. So, is the Lions brass ready to move on and capitalize on his trade value while they can? Let's rewind for a moment. Amic was a 6th-round gem for the Lions in 2018, slowly evolving into a versatile defender known for clutch tackles and solid slot coverage, 25 total tackles, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery in 2023. He's shown he can hold his own against slants and quickouts, even if his size, 5'8", 194 pounds, sometimes limits him against bigger receivers. But with Detroit's defensive depth chart looking like a crowded house, Brian Branch already eating up slot reps, Rakestraw Jr. impressing coaches, and Maddox bringing championship experience, Robertson's roster bubble is looking mighty fragile. Could this mean the Lions might cut Robertson entirely rather than trade him? It's possible. One insider quietly suggested that cutting him would free up cap space and open the roster for a rookie who can grow into the role, potentially saving Detroit a late-round pick instead of parting with future draft assets. Imagine the front office, pushing a fresh blood narrative and waving goodbye to a familiar face. Would that energize the locker room or sow distrust among players? Now, let's scrutinize the timing. We're only 4 months out from the season opener, and the Lions have to finalize a 53-man roster soon. If Robertson's playing time is pegged at near zero behind a stacked secondary, could Detroit decide to cut bait before Week 1 to let him catch on elsewhere? Could they even sneak in a low-risk trade to a team desperate for slot help? Think Philadelphia or New Orleans before the July 15th cut-down date. Imagine the social media uproar. Fans posting, "Wait, why didn't we see this coming?" Or, "Sometimes tough love is necessary to build a championship contender." Some loyalists are already lamenting. He was always hustling on third downs, tackling receivers at the line. Now, he might be gone before summer camp breaks. Others say, if he's not in the future plans, better to let him go and get value while you can. It's a classic debate. Sentiment versus strategy. Peel back another layer, and you find Detroit's defensive coordinator searching for more pass rush juice to complement Aiden Hutchinson. By trimming the secondary, could the Lions free resources to chase that elusive edge rusher, maybe a veteran on a prove-it deal, or even turn that roster spot into a mid-round pick at the 2026 draft? Some scouts point out that dropping Robertson might be the first domino, creating a ripple effect across the roster. Could that freed-up roster spot become a landing pad for a UDFA standout, someone who's hungrier and less expensive than a veteran making north of $9 million? It's all speculation, but insiders whisper that Detroit's staff is weighing these very scenarios behind closed doors. From a fan perspective, it's emotionally tricky. Robertson earned respect for stepping up when injuries struck. Recall his 65 combined tackles in 2022 and his knack for timely pass breakups. Fans on Twitter are split. One posted, "No corner in that room is more dependable on third down than Amic. Why would we let him go?" Another fired back, "This is business. If he can't crack the starting unit, do we really need to pay him over $9 million next year?" Add fuel to the speculation. Word is that Robertson expressed frustration in private meetings, asking why his name wasn't penciled as a starter over some unproven rookies. Could that tension have soured his standing with the coaching staff? Could locker room chemistry be at risk if he stays as the odd man out on game day? And don't overlook the human element. Robertson spent years building rapport with younger defensive backs, mentoring them on press coverage and reading route concepts. If he's cut loose, could that leadership vacuum set back the rookies? Development? Conversely, maybe a fresh veteran voice, someone like a decorated ex-pro with a Super Bowl ring, would better elevate this defense. It's a high-stakes chess move for Detroit. By now, we're inching toward that critical moment when the Lions transaction wire might light up with either a trade or an outright release. Will general manager Brad Holmes pull the trigger? Gambling on the depth that still needs proving, or is the chatter simply noise from overzealous insiders looking for clicks? Could this all just be mind games designed to motivate Robertson to up his intensity during the rest of training camp workouts? Something tells me the Lions won't let this linger much longer. As we draw curtains on this first act, remember, nothing is set in stone until the official announcement hits. Amic Robertson's fate could hinge on a single practice rep or a late-night phone call between scouts and rival GMs. But one thing's for sure, if Detroit does decide to part ways, it will mark the end of an era for a player who's shown grit, heart, and consistent performance. Will this move propel the Lions closer to that elusive Super Bowl window, or will it backfire by weakening a secondary that desperately needs cohesion? Only time will tell. If you're fired up about this potential shakeup, smash that like button now and subscribe to Lions News Fan Report so you never miss a single update from Detroit's front office. Let's pick up right where we left off. The swirling rumors that Amic Robertson could be on the way out have reached a fever pitch, and the latest intel suggests a decision could come any day now. The question on everyone's mind is simple. Will Robertson be cut outright, or might a surprise trade land him elsewhere before training camp breaks? Some sources close to Ford Field hint that the Lions are already fielding calls from teams in need of slot corner help. Don't be shocked if a squad like New Orleans or Philadelphia makes a low-ball offer just to see if they can snag Robertson at a bargain. Could Detroit be leveraging this interest to extract a mid- to late-round pick in return? That would be a savvy move, turning a player on the outside looking into a draft asset that fills a much bigger need. On the other hand, cutting him would free up over $6 million in cap space immediately, cash that could be channeled into retaining key contributors or chasing that edge rusher we've been coveting since last season. It all comes down to whether the front office values immediate financial flexibility over the slim chance of recouping even a late-round pick. Let's not forget the locker room dynamics. Sources say veteran defenders have expressed mixed feelings about Robertson's potential departure. Some believe it's win-at-all-costs mentality. If you can't start, you don't suit up. Others argue his work ethic and mentorship were invaluable for younger backs. If the Lions part ways, does that send a message? Performance is paramount, and sentiment takes a back seat? Could this instill a no-nonsense culture that ultimately helps Detroit contend in a brutal NFC? Or might it sow seeds of uncertainty among players who worry their roster spot could disappear overnight? Speculation is rampant that secondary meetings this weekend will be tense. Veterans quietly watching, rookies steeling themselves for the possibility that their own paths hinge on Robertson's exit. So, what's your take, Lions fans? Is cutting Robertson a cold, calculated masterstroke or a short-sighted move that could come back to haunt Detroit? And if he ends up elsewhere, which team makes the smartest flip? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to see where you all stand. If this breakdown got your mind racing, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and share this with every Lions die-hard you know. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time with more insider rumors, bold speculation, and everything you need to stay one step ahead in Lions country.